All right, so here's day 81 of me going through my old journal entries. So the quote for the day is, community means that people come together around the table, not just to feed their bodies, but to feed their minds and their relationships. Oh, this will be an interesting one. The question is, do you have a sense of community, and what does community mean to you? So pause this video and take a minute to think about how you feel about these questions, and I will tell you what I said. So, do you have a sense of community? I said nope. I've always struggled to make friends and feel close to people, even people in my family. Thankfully, I wasn't someone who desperately wanted friends, so it never bothered me very much. There were times when I was younger that the realization would hit me, and this was always happened like very briefly, like let me keep reading, that the realization would hit me that I didn't have friends like other people did, and I would feel a little bad, but those feelings never lasted very long. Even though I didn't have close friends, I still had like situational friends. And I said, like, in all my classes or jobs, there would always be people I considered friends, but the friendships would rarely go beyond like just kind of work or school situations. Not really sure why, but also not super upset about it. With that being said, I often daydream about being involved in my community, like starting a nonprofit or opening a small business or getting involved with some local groups. But there have been times in the past that I've tried to get involved with things but would lose interest. So I fear getting involved in any groups because I don't want people to resent me when I lose interest. I've even noticed it with people I follow on social media. I'll be obsessed with someone for a while, and by obsessed I mean like I'll just consistently like check their page, check their stories, things like that. And for a while, and then a couple weeks later, I'll wonder why. Like, I mean, I'm talking about like even big people. There was this girl, I can't remember her name, something Punch, I think. And she did videos where she would like, most of her videos were about like throwbacks to like the 90s, like 90s music, early 2000s. We're about the same age. And so hers would be like, you know, when you were out at the club playing the music. And I thought her stuff was real funny. And I followed it for like a week or two. And then I watched it later and I'm like, why was I so into, why did I think that this is so great? Like, it is good content, but like, that's just an example. Like, I'll see something that I'll think is like really good and like really interesting, and I'll be into it, and I'll scroll through and watch a lot of their videos, and then like a couple days later just have no interest in it at all. So I think that's another trend on here that I've realized about myself, is like my attention is like one thing to the next, and I can't really predict like what's gonna catch my attention and keep my attention, and nothing, literally nothing has held my attention. Like today I was on my way to the so this is getting way off track from the whole community thing. I'll get back to that here in a second, but I was on my way to the gym, and I used to like love listening to music when I was driving, and just like a lot, like when I was cleaning the house or things like that. But like, I miss being able to do that, because like over the past like 5 or so years, like my ability to enjoy music has kind of tapered off, and I hate that. Because like, yeah, like now whenever I'm cleaning or doing something, it's almost like I need something more stimulating to my brain than music. I need like an interesting podcast, or you know, video talking about some topic that's really interesting, or just sometimes just mindless gossip, but you know, gossip videos or whatever. But I've been going through a time the past couple of weeks where I'm just struggling to find anything. This morning I was like, okay, let me try going back to some music, and just driving and listening to music, and none of the music that I used to like is really hitting right for me. And I hate what YouTube has done with their algorithm within the past, it's been several years now, but like, used to, I could get on YouTube and they would just show me like such random videos and like songs. I would listen to some songs and they would play like a song that I liked, but then they would have other songs that were like kind of similar and then sometimes way off, but like I would find all this new music that I liked because of YouTube, and same thing with videos and different topics and things like that. But it doesn't do that anymore. It just keeps playing me like the same stuff. Like the algorithm is like, oh, you like this stuff, we're gonna keep playing you just the same people that you follow, or very, very, very similar things. And I'm just like, I don't want similar things. I want something new. And so it's just like a struggle to figure out what to watch. And I think that's why I've been so into TikTok, and then now even Reddit, just coming across new topics and things like that to catch my interest. But anyway, yeah, maybe I've never used Spotify before, so maybe Spotify will be a little bit better. I don't know. Maybe I should try that. But yeah, back to like the community thing. I think it's really sad. Like I feel like part of me like wants to be a part of a community, but then part of me like just knows my personality well enough to know that I don't like really belong in a community, I guess. Like just personality wise, like I'm like a one relationship at a time sort of thing, and I think trying to get involved in a community kind of worries me, like I said, because I don't want to feel like obligated to interact and participate. So I don't know if there's a community of people that would understand that. And see, that's why I struggle like with the day before, where I talk about having dreams and I say like I do have this dream of like helping people or helping society, but how do you do that? I feel like there's not a good way to do that without like building some sort of community, and I don't know how to build or participate in really a community, so I don't really know like how to do that. And I taught, me and my sister used to talk about this, or I've talked about this with other people, like I do miss kind of how my grandparents lived back in the day. Like where we live, where I'm living now, they knew all of the people that lived around here. All of the people that lived around here were like around their age, and they had like a big group of friends, and they have this building like down the street that we just call the community building, and they would go there every Saturday and just meet up with their friends. And I mean, there's a bunch of them, like tons of people would go, and it was all older people, and they had like people there that would play in the band. They had like, you know, people that played like certain instruments, and they would have like some songs that they would play every week, like old like country western style, because that's what all of them listen to. And then you could sign up, and if you wanted to sing, you could put what song you wanted to sing, and the band would play, and you could get up there and sing. And like the ladies would make food. It was like a big potluck, and I mean, it was fun for me as a kid going there. Like me and my sister, and then some of the other grandkids of people would like play outside, and you know, and like my grandparents used to like sit on their porch every night, like after, was it before dinner? I can't remember. I think it was maybe after dinner, depending on, you know, what the season was. My grandparents would sit out on the porch. Me and my sister would play in the yard, you know, where they could see us. And then their friends would see them sitting out, and their friends would just swing by and just sit outside and chat with them. Like there's always people like coming by, just stopping by. And that just isn't there anymore. Like their friends, you know, started to be when they were getting in their mid to late 50s, their friends would start dying, and you know, and then it was just fewer and fewer people coming by, and then new people would like move into the houses, and you know, you don't really interact. And so I don't know how to interact with the community now. Like I kind of know my neighbors, and there's a time that like when I first moved in here, like I kind of interacted a little bit with some of my neighbors, but that just kind of like died off, and I'm not really sure like exactly why. I think it's because I'm not good at interacting, maybe. Like I don't know, Or maybe they're not either. Maybe it's just like all of us like aren't good at interacting with each other. So I don't know. I would love to have a community, I think, but I don't know. I think a problem too was like I was one of those people who was too nice or whatever. And so I used to feel pressured to like always say yes to everything. And then so when I would get in groups or communities, I would feel like I was always saying yes, and that would stress me out. And so maybe I should have just like have more boundaries. But I don't know. I'd like to have a sense of community, but I'm not sure that that's a possibility, at least for the short term while I'm finishing up school. But maybe after that, maybe I can get back in with my gardening group or whatever. I guess we'll see. But anyway, that is what I have for day 81. And I will be back tomorrow with day 82.